perfect day. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it.
It's time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. Hang on. Wait a minute. Do you guys hear that? Listen carefully. Shh, be very quiet. That's the sound of 49er fans. If you listen carefully, you can hear in the distance, yeah, but 5 Super Bowls. Yeah, we live in the past. Shh. They're putting away their 49er flags and pulling out their LA Dodger jerseys, most of them here in Southern California. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Go Rams, go Rams, go Rams, go home, 49ers. And for the Rams, they can say, they're staying home. The LA Rams are hosting the Super Bowl for the second time in 2 years that the home team gets to play on its home field for a Super Bowl. Hadn't happened in 54 years. And now here it is happening in back-to-back years. LA Rams are victorious in the NFC Championship on Sunday night. What a scene it was at SoFi Stadium. A ton of Niner fans, a ton of Rams fans. It was loud in that building, man. It was loud. You could hear it through the TV set. I was extremely loud myself. Just lost my mind all day. Worried, scared. The game lived up to its billing. 2 incredible teams, some amazing players. The intensity of the game was just, it was incredible. So the Rams have an opportunity to go win their 4th world championship here in 2 weeks against the Cincinatti Bengals. Yes, it's hard for me to even say those words. Cincinnati Bengals, who upset the Kansas City Chiefs, the fantasy football team, Kansas City Chiefs, 21 points in the first half. Could have had 24 or even 28, but then stopped scoring. And the Bengals, the Burrow-led Bengals, just with more grit to them than anything I've ever seen, just kept coming. Lost the coin toss in overtime, and got it done, man. Intercepted Mahomes a couple times, and Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. What a crazy world we now live in. Bengals, Rams. It feels eerily similar to the 99 Rams with the Bengals. The Rams were a joke in the 90s, an absolute joke. We're talking like 4 or 5 wins a year. That was right in the middle of that stretch of the 49ers, killing the Rams 17 times in a row. Yeah, bad times, and all of a sudden the Rams got good. We're good for a few years in St. Louis, and then we know the rest of the story. Now, for those of you on here, like scratching your head saying, why did Matt misspeak? He said 4 times. The Rams haven't won 4 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls. No, they haven't. But I will say this. Football's weird. Football's funny. And I say this because it's annoying 49er fans who constantly say crap like, oh yeah, 5 Super. It's like it's some kind of Jeopardy question. No one asked you a Jeopardy question. We were decided a game on the field yesterday. We're not having Jeopardy questions here. I didn't ask how many Super Bowls the San Francisco 49ers have won. But it's like this defense mechanism all the time. That's like saying, say your candidate lost the election, the presidential election. Oh yeah, well, we won it last time. What does that mean? Cool. Congrats. living that past. Way to go, 49ers. And I say 3-time world champions because football is this, there's this weird thing, affiliation or attachment to Super Bowls. It's the only sport I know where they changed the name of a championship game and all of a sudden other championships are now irrelevant. Because 49ers, if you want to play the we have 5 Super Bowls game, fine, we'll go even further back. The Rams have 2 NFL world championships, as do a lot of other teams who won NFL championships, right? That was just what it was called, the NFL World Championship. It wasn't until 1965, I believe, where the AFC and AFL and NFL played each other in a Super Bowl 1, which is what it was deemed. And that became the World Championship of football. So, but it's like, for some people, the modern age, you want to erase what happened in the past, erase championships before. It'd be like in the 1970s being like, hey, we're renaming the NBA finals. We're going to call it the last series or something. And so championships before that don't count. So yes, 49ers, you may have more world championships than my Rams do. You got 5, all in the Super Bowl era. Rams have 3 world championships, 1945, 1951, and 2000, of course, the greatest show on turf. So you want to play these games? We can play games. I know it's weird these days with like facts and data. You do those things now, you get pulled off of YouTube, you get censored and everything. But I'm making a stand against it. I am going to provide facts and data because you can have opinions. Well, I like my team the best. Well, that's fine. You like them the best, but they lost. They lost on Sunday to the Rams after you had beaten them twice. And when I've said this before, Laker fans do this all the time. So I'm not just saying this about 49er fans. Laker fans are the worst. Anytime they lose in the playoffs or don't even go to the playoffs. Oh yeah, well, all the championship, who cares? If there's a bragging contest for how many championships you've won, then you have a point. Don't even play the game then. The game shouldn't be played. They have more championships than them, but don't even play the game. It's so sad and soft. Oh yeah, more championships than you. You sound like a freaking 7-year-old. Just lick your wounds and go away. You lost. Lose like a man. Can you say that anymore? I don't care if you can say it or not. Oh, annoying fan bases. The 49ers are right at the top. Oh, congrats, Matt. Congrats. Yeah, talk to me when you have. First of all, I have no say over. This is just team I root for. This whole we thing, I am so sick and tired of. Oh, we didn't play good enough. You didn't do anything. You sat on your couch eating chips. We. Kyle Shanahan calls you for a play call, then say we. Go ahead. Oh, I couldn't tell you how happy I am with the victory on Sunday. I posted some videos. I had a long late night video on Facebook Live with a cigar. Had some great fans tuning in, some haters on there. By the way, you see this shirt for those not on YouTube? This says Los Angeles football. Los Angeles football. LA football, like the stadium behind me, SoFi Stadium, the beautiful Stan Kroenke Dome. Ram Kroenke, baby. I know the people in Missouri don't like that guy, but here in LA, we love him. We love it. Left my heart in San Francisco, whatever that. Yeah, no, Bay Area stuff. Again, sickening. I saw some people come down from Northern California. I have some good Northern California friends, but my goodness, I got Niners fan a ton here in LA. I know one in Florida. I know one in Virginia, and I'm just like, what? Oh, it spreads. The 49er variant. So anyway. World championships. If anyone is curious, because everyone knows the Patriots have 6 Super Bowls, the Steelers have 6 Super Bowls. As far as world championships in the NFL, excuse me, I believe it's the Green Bay Packers. Yes, they have 13 titles. The NFL championship 9 times, and of course 4 Super Bowls.
The Chicago Bears actually in there too. But most of their titles came courtesy of the NFL championship. So just keeping people up to date. If you want to go back, we can go back 49ers. So yeah, you got 5, the Rams got 3. It's okay. That's pretty, it's not even. Yeah. And when was the last time? 95, I think. 27 years. Okay. I know you were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And again, I've said this before. I'm all about recent relevance. If you're in the mix, I think the Niners are a relevant team here, much more than other pretenders. So, and one other thing, I do say the term world champion. Now that may offend some people. That offends Greg Popovich, the coach of the Spurs, who doesn't want world champs on his banners. He wants NBA champs. Well, unless there's a tackle football league in Somalia or something, that it's a random country I picked. It's not meant to denigrate anybody. Sorry, it's world champs. If you're, I'll take it a step. If you're a spoon twirler and you're the only one in the world who does that, or you compete against the only 5 people in the world who does it, you call yourself a world champion. All right. It's the world championship. Champions of the world. Yes, it is. So NFL titles, world champs, be city champs, state champs, national champs. Why not world champs? Don't be offended so easily. Oh, so where do I start? One more thing on the Niners. This is just, I wrote these things down actually before the game, because I think most of the people from my generation, my age, around my time, I think most of them were front runners. That's how they picked their team. And it was probably due to their parents or whatever. And I know if your parents are from somewhere, I totally get that 100%. But I think what happened is people started to buy into the San Francisco thing because they dominated the 80s, 4 titles in the 80s. They were still good in the 90s. And then, of course, Steve Young takes them and wins another Super Bowl in the mid 90s. So it was a bunch of people that were like, well, we don't have a team anymore. But my question is, how come nobody in LA, Southern California, how come nobody flocked, I don't know, to San Diego and became a Chargers fan? Nobody became an Arizona Cardinals fan, even the Denver Broncos. Go a little, I mean, it's not just the next closest team. It's not what I'm saying, but to root for a team from the Bay Area that if you're down here in LA, you're supposed to despise. I'm sorry. It's LA versus the Bay. There's always a rivalry there, but some people, you know who you are. I'll try to get away from this and just kind of enjoy what transpired. So NFL championships. Yes, 49ers, you have 5. Rams have 3. And to play at home, possibly go after their 4th is pretty awesome. What a game. Deebo Samuel, I said it before, I'll say it again. Such a beast. The 49ers could not run the ball very well on Sunday, and they had it in the previous meetings. That's their bread and butter. That's really how they play ball. They bully ball. You know, the Rams play the run exceptionally well, and you could see that from the very beginning. So the 49ers, being the 49ers, found ways to get Deebo the ball. They kind of started these quick short passes as treating them as kind of their running plays. Deebo Samuel was so hard to tackle, it looks like, because he just runs by guys and they bounce off him. And that 44-yard touchdown pass he had was something special. After the Rams had really moved the ball well, that first drive, they did that tip interception. I'm just going, oh, Niner football, man. They're just so opportunistic. The Rams take a 7-0 lead. Niners tie it. You go into half. I think it was, oh no, Niners got a field right before half. So 10-7. And you're just like, man, this is kind of weird that the Rams don't have more points. I felt like they moved the ball a lot. My goodness, Cooper Kupp. My goodness, Odell Beckham. He had some incredible catches. Blanton, the backup tight end. He caught a touchdown against the Buccaneers last week, and this week comes up clutch with some big time catches, some great blocks. I thought the offensive line of the Rams did a heck of a job in pass protection. The Niners, like the pocket would just, it was right around Stafford. Everything around him was chaotic, but they didn't get a whole lot of sacks on him. You know, they were pressuring him, they were hurrying him, but the O-line held their own against one of the best pass rushes in all of football in the 49ers. The Rams really didn't run the ball great. They they probably ran it too many times on first down, just very consistent, too many 2nd and 9 situations, stuff like that. So the running game for both teams was kind of out the window. And if that happened, I felt more confident in a Matthew Stafford than I did a Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G just missed Kittle early in the game, deep down the middle of the field. I thought that was a huge missed opportunity for them. A couple of big hits in the game. I thought the officiating really didn't really play a part in the game. There was a few fouls that were missed. Ramsey got taken down by a face mask on a punt play where, the end zone was threatened with the kick. So the officials' eyes are kind of going there. There was a play by Ben Skoranek who kind of earholed a guy for the Niners that didn't get called. And then when they picked up the flag on the hit on Debo, I thought that was really well officiated. Just a clean hit. Looked big, looked bad on in full speed. They talked it over, a clean shoulder to the chest hit. I thought Debo might have been banged up worse there, but he came back in. That dude's a warrior, man, just a warrior. And I think I read this correctly or heard this correctly. I think Eric Weddle led the team in tackles. So not bad after, playing pickup basketball a few weeks ago down in San Diego, and then lead the team in tackles in the NFC Championship. If I'm wrong on that, I do apologize. Didn't double check my sources, but let me see here. Where do we go? The Niners go up 17-7. And at this point, if you're an honest Rams fan, you're worried. You're like, Rams have moved the ball. Why do they not have more points? But the way the defense was playing, again, pressuring Garoppolo, couldn't get to him, didn't sack him all day. But I thought they did enough. Aaron Donald kind of had a defensive team meeting, rallied the troops, if you will. He doesn't really say much too often. And when he did, it seemed to switch gears on flip a switch. That was wild just to see the defense dive in and do their thing and keep the Rams in the ball game. And then Matthew Stafford was great all day. There was a couple the Cup dropped the ball. Speaking of drop, and then the very next play, he makes an unbelievable catch to make up for it. The dropped balls. It's crazy in professional sport, in the NFL, how many times a ball is dropped. Jalen Ramsey, ball hit him in the chest, drops it. The 49er safety, Tart, I think was his name, dropped it would have been a great punt, but dropped the ball, a deep ball right in his lap. He drops it. Ben Skoranek, again, on that long pass from the Rams. Tough catch, tough play. But come on, man. If it hits those hands, they're way better than me. I know I'm just a nobody here sitting doing a podcast in the middle of the day, but it just drives me crazy, man. Catch it. It's a ball. Catch it. That's what you're paid to do. If I go, it's not like a mistake or something. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental. Or if guys like Cooper Kupp can drop one that was perfect, then I guess they're human. They're human after all. Where else? What a scene, though, man. It's a great game. I was going to be so mad if they lost, just because you get so close to hosting a Super Bowl in your own stadium, and it's those dreaded Niners, those red and gold. I kind of wanted to go to the game. I didn't have enough money to go to the game. But in the morning, seeing all the traffic and everything and the chaos down there, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I did not roll out there to SoFi. My couch was much better, even though I was walking around pacing most of the time. And I got to tell you guys, this is one of the best ideas I ever had. Woke up in the morning. It's a long day. Made breakfast, did some laundry, a lot of coffee. And then first game started, watched all of that. And one of the things I did was I have this little TV that I roll around. I put out in front of the big TV for NFL Sundays or other sport fights and stuff. Just keep your eye on, 2 different sporting events. Like, I don't think that's weird. I think that's as God intended. So, but what I did, I was like, this is Championship Sunday. This is different. This is a big deal. Like, I wheeled that TV in here to the kitchen and angled it so that if you had to come in and do some cooking, because there was some food prep and stuff, grab yourself a drink or whatever, or like me, I was just pacing back and forth. You don't miss any action. So consider that, guys, gals, whoever. Get a little TV. Maybe you have one in your kitchen already. Like I would like one in here, but I don't know where we put it. So we just have that little portable one we wheel around. So one, get a TV on the wheels. You be shocked at how much you utilize it. And on big games, big moments, yeah, put one in the kitchen so that you can roll in there and not miss any of the action. I was really, really happy with it. And it enabled me to kind of walk around and pace. That final interception where Donald wrapped him up and Jimmy G, out of desperation, just flung it over there. That interception, I don't know that I've jumped so high, yelled so. I think I yelled yes probably 12 times. And I was pretty loud all game, just trying my best to stay sane and not get too high, too low. But you know how that goes as a fan. I had a great interview with Travis Carlson on Friday, friend of mine from Florida, who's a huge 49ers fan. And if you didn't get a chance to listen to that, we really dove into the preview of the game and the rivalry and everything. And oh man, that was a fun conversation. So check that out if you haven't had a chance, especially after kind of the result here, the result I wanted anyway. The stadium sounded, man, like, and it looked with the shots and everything. It looked, I don't know how else to say this, but it looked LA, man. It looked like LA football had arrived. Those first few games in the Coliseum back in the beginning of the McVay era, when they really started to piece it together. The first year in 16 under Fisher, the Rams were back. So the city was like, yeah, Rams football. But they were so bad and the stands really got emptied quick. But when McVay arrived and the team started winning games, I mean, the LA Rams atmosphere was back. And yeah, there was a lot of visiting teams where visiting teams came to games, and, you know, the Packer front runners here in Southern California, the 49er fans, of course, where they'd flood the stadium. And that's just always going to be the case with the transplants and front runners that we have here in this city. But I don't know. It wasn't until that second McVay year where they had some primetime games. They had the primetime shootout with Minnesota where Goff looked unstoppable. They had the game against the Chiefs. Who could forget that one? The Rams and especially in the throwbacks and the Coliseum, it fit, man. And it was like, okay, the Rams are back. LA Rams football. You got to compete for attention in this city. You got to compete with the Lakers and the Dodgers and the college teams and the beaches and everything. And I think the Rams have gone all in from the very beginning after the Fisher year, of course, and bringing in McVay and all the moves they've made the past few years. Some people are like, oh, they're just, you know, you don't want to see teams like that do well, free agency, and, you know, oh, that's so LA, but it's worked, man. Look at the Rams may lose the Super Bowl in 2 weeks and everyone's going to laugh at me and be like, oh, they're still terrible, blah, blah, blah. But two Super Bowl, again, I've told you guys about recent relevance and two Super Bowl appearances in 4 years. That in itself says something. Okay. People can laugh all they want about the Buffalo Bills losing 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s, but man, they were there. It's hard to get there. All right. People want to worship LeBron James because he goes to the NBA finals every other year. And he's lost way more than he's won, but he's this, you know, greatest ever, whatever. We don't need to waste our breath on that. But I don't know. I would say the Rams beat the Cowboys in the Coliseum in the playoffs that 2019 year, 2018 season, 2019 January playoffs. That was a ton of Cowboy fans there. Again, a lot of Southern California Cowboy fans. But that was a moment, that first playoff win. That one was like, all right, again, old school LA Rams versus Dallas, that little history there in the postseason, a lot of memories there. I did hear this stat that, again, the 70s were before my time, but the Rams went to 4. I don't think it was 4 straight, but in the 70s, the Rams lost 4 NFC championship games, 4. And then they finally got to a Super Bowl. I think it was a win over Dallas in an NFC championship game in the 79-80 to play in the Rose Bowl against the Steelers, which they lost in their first Super Bowl appearance. But and that's crazy. I think that's where the Rams kind of became the talk of the town back then. And you know, it was prior to the Dodgers winning multiple titles in the 80s. Showtime and the Lakers, it was prior to that, where the Rams were kind of in it. kind of always there in the 70s. After, 79, 80, 49ers took over and they dominated the 80s, and then Lakers basketball. And so if you don't stay relevant, you kind of disintegrate. And that's what happened. The Rams disintegrated into mediocrity, and then even beyond that in the 90s, and then ended up going to St. Louis. So it's crazy how quickly things can change. I think we are at a moment right now where this town, it's been slowly but surely, is transforming, and it's may never be bigger than a Laker town, because I think the Lakers and all their success here, unless more and more people turn off the NBA like I have, I think when you think of LA, you think of a Laker town. And I don't know if that they'll ever overtake the Lakers, but I do think that the Rams could make this a Rams town as a close second. I really, really do. The Dodgers have been great. People love the Dodgers here, families and generations, but I think you see a lot of that too. With Rams families as well. If you just open your eyes, I mean, they're here, they're around. There's just so many other people that like other teams that they kind of get drowned out, I guess. So I think we're at a transformation right now where some people even you're going to hit the younger crowd, the teenagers who are kind of like, who do I root for? To root for teams dad likes? Do I root for teams? No, I'm going to be a Rams fan, dad, or what, whatever. Like, I think the Rams have done it well in the sense of being an attractive team to root for, if that makes any sense. Being an attractive team to root for here in LA, because there's so many options here. You can't tell me though, but sitting back, let's say you're a Rams hater, okay, but you're proud of LA and this and that, and you can't tell me you don't sit there watching the Rams play a big game at the brand new SoFi Stadium and think to yourself, man, that's LA sports right there. I mean, 75, 80,000 people show up for an event like that. And I know a lot of them Niner fans, and other cases visiting teams. It just has a vibe to me that says LA sports. And certain people around the country are going, LA sports, they're a joke. Haha. Well, not in recent years. I mean, there's really been a collection of great talent out here in Los Angeles and the greater Southern California area. So I don't know, man. You guys may hate on the Rams, and you probably don't like that I just talk about them all the time, but I'm talking about them now because they're good. They're in the Super Bowl again, and who knows? Next few years, maybe I won't be able to. They seem all in on this year. Last time they went to the Super Bowl, they didn't even make the playoffs the next year. So, sorry guys, humble brag. This will be a lot of Rams talk here in the next couple of weeks. I also want to talk about Super Bowl traditions and things of that nature, a top 10 food list. I want to get into all that stuff here. I don't know about a guest Friday. I haven't had time to sit down and record one yet. Maybe I'll do a show by myself. Maybe I don't know. I'm working on guests. So I'm trying to pull something together. It's getting more difficult now as people are busy. People are doing other things. And a lot of people I've not used, but had the privilege of sitting down with already. So I don't know who's going to want to come back and do another one, but yeah, we'll see. I'm just through the roof, thrilled that the LA Rams defeated the San Francisco 49ers in a classic. Really was a classic, iconic game, iconic moment with Donald rustling Jimmy G, wrapping him up on 3rd and long, and then just that stadium exploding, and I lost my mind. So go Rams. Bengals, two teams that kind of a laughing stock of the league for a long time, especially the Bengals. First time in 31 years they win a playoff game, and then they win 3 of them and are now in the Super Bowl. And I want to talk about, well, first of all, before I get to that, our beloved governor. I don't want to go off on a COVID rant here, but all this talk about how deadly and we got to reimagine and the new normal, blah, 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 blah. The governor's at the game, maskless. Everyone's supposed to wear masks there. And I know they're not going to enforce it. And I don't want it enforced personally. I don't want masks. I want normal. But you can't sit on your pedestal and lecture people how important something is. This is just like him eating at the French Laundry restaurant. He's there at the game, Magic Johnson, they're taking pictures and stuff. Maybe he just took it off for the photo. I don't know. But every kid in California has to go to classrooms and wear masks. And the governor is in an 80,000 seat football arena, which is basically indoors. He's maskless. It tells you a couple things. First of all, it's not just hypocrisy. It's that he doesn't believe what he preaches. He doesn't believe it. Or if he was terrified or thought it was for safety, he would have had a mask on. He wouldn't be caught dead without a mask on. No pun intended. And it's funny to me because in all of his little other photo opportunities, when he's shoveling trash off the freeway outside, blocking traffic and everything, he's got a mask on there. Look, if you're a big time mask person, you really like masks, you think it makes us safer, then that's fine. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. All right. But I want us to open our eyes and see that Governor Newsome is full of it. It's completely full of it. He doesn't, it's not about it. It's about control. You peasants must do this. It's not about safety. It isn't. Do I care that people wear masks at games? No. I think it's stupid. And if you want to wear one, go ahead. Because if masks work, which everybody says they do, what do you care if someone else doesn't have one on? You have one on, you're protected. Similar to the vaccine thing. Well, I know that's controversial. And things that are actually true now that people, had they said it months ago, would have been censored or deemed misinformation. I won't get into that right now. Let's celebrate the victory. But Governor Newsome, shame on you. You're just wrong. You're wrong about it. I want to call you so many names. You're fake. You're a dictator, forcing little children who virtually, is that the right word? Virtually have no, not virtual, like virtual reality. Virtually, I don't know. Kids who more than likely don't have any risk of COVID, not of whatever. But you got to mask them up in their prison cell classrooms. But you, mightier than thou, do what you want. Well, Maddie's vaccinated and the kids aren't. Well, but you can still spread and get COVID, can't you? With the vaccine? Isn't that what we were told? That was wrong 3 months ago, but now it's 100% truth. Anyway, I'm not trying to get into COVID, Joe Rogan debate here or anything. Question. I'm just saying sometimes when you see things that bother you, it's like, you know what? Screw you, man. Newsome. That's us. That's California. That's what you voted for. You voted for these $5 in gas and all these other things. Well, a lot of that is people running this country, people running this state. Abysmal. I would love for a couple of good things to come forward. People who are fans of them, step forward. Hey, here's the good things they've done. Really? Wonder what the ratio is of good versus bad things. All right, enough of him. Newsome, you're a coward, you're a hypocrite, and a dictator. So man, Cincinnati down 21-3. And I think everyone's going to point to the play right before halftime where the Chiefs go for it. They're on the 2-yard line or whatever, inside the 5. They go for it. They throw a little out to Tyreek Hill. He gets tackled in bounds. They can't get a field goal off. You could have had at least 3 points there. So you could have been leading 24-3 going into half. The Bengals, second half, come back, rally for 18 to tie it, and then end up taking the lead. And it was the Chiefs who had to rally and score their only points of the second half with a field goal at the end of regulation. Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent. Is the best quarterback in the NFL and will be for a long time. But what I saw in the game was what makes him great is what also makes him a little reckless. And what I mean by that is, he's so good at scrambling out of the pocket, throwing on the run, his little sidearm flips and everything. He's the best in the business at it. He's not always looking to run. As far as rushing yards, he's usually buying time. And every now and then he does get loose. And it's one of his most underrated traits, I think, is that he is elusive and can buy time. And you can't cover those Chiefs receivers forever. Travis Kelce usually gets slippery and gets open just when Mahomes buys time. But I thought what kind of happened in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, was there's a little too much, like, I don't know another term for it other than like schoolyard football, like just outside of structure. And I'm not saying just stand in the pocket as a statue and throw the ball, but he did get a little reckless. He kind of runs around in circles, and that's all good and well for, if you're not getting caught. But you remember the Super Bowl last year, how much we saw of that from him, where he was running 100 yards at a time, dodging and avoiding the pass rush. And again, he just looks exhausted at the end. And I thought towards the end of the game, he single-handedly almost choked the game away by trying to do too much, running around in a circle. And sometimes you just got to throw it away, or I hate to say it, but take a short yardage sack. He's tried to get away and had the ball knocked away. Bengals could have jumped on that fumble and won the game right there. So Patrick Mahomes is incredible. I don't know if he's ever going to win 7 Super Bowls, but everyone was crowning him years ago as being this all-time, he's going to win 10 Super Bowls. It's hard, man. It's hard to get there consistently. The Chiefs have been in the AFC Championship game now 4 years in a row. Lost the first one, won the second one and the Super Bowl. Last year, went to the Super Bowl. Lost to the Bucks this year. Heavy favorites, up 18 in the second half. You lose at home. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong in a football game, no matter who you are. It's no knock on Andy Reid. It's no knock on Eric Bieniemy or the defense. I mean, things happen. That's why you play the game. Chris Berman, boomers. So that's why you play the game, when two teams have no business being even. But there's some magic here in Cincinnati. The Burrow Bengals, man, they are playing with fire, playing with life. Joe Mixon with some big runs there late in the game. Joe Burrow just is a stud, man. He's just a stud. He's Joe Cool. Doesn't really get too emotional. You don't see him dancing and stuff like I saw other quarterbacks doing this weekend. He seems already in year 2 to be a pro. Joe the pro, man. I can't say enough about him. He looks head and shoulder. I mean, similar to, Justin Herbert, who's got probably a stronger arm and a bigger frame and everything, but doesn't quite have the team around him. Joe's got all of that. Probably a better coach in Zach Taylor, a McVay disciple. I think the Bengals, they're no joke. I mean, we all see it now. They're for real. And the Rams better be ready to play in Super Bowl 56. The Rams are favored, and if I'm being unbiased, I do think they're still the better team and should win the game. But 2 weeks in a row now, the Bengals have won games they weren't supposed to win. I think the Rams pass rush is really going to give that Bengal O-line trouble. But we've seen Joe Burrow in pressure situations be just fine under duress. Get sacked 9 times, still go win a game. He's got a head on his shoulders, man, and he is really something else. But I thought too much schoolyard, playing on the street with your friends type of ball from Patrick Mahomes. And I know it's crazy. It's something that he's really it elevates him, but in sometimes in moments like we saw yesterday late in the game, and then last year even in the Super Bowl, where it wears him out, and he makes some poor throws sometimes because he's so, what's the term? I hate saying courageous in non-like combat situations, but he's so fearless. And sometimes that's really good, that right amount of swagger, right? But sometimes your fearlessness can make you make mistakes. So you don't want to make scared mistakes. But at the same time, sorry, I'm still like recovering from the day that was yesterday. Just my favorite Sunday of the year, and AFC NFC championship, and man, 2 games that went down to basically the final play. last second, well, overtime field goal. We got a field goal at the end of regulation and a game-winning field goal in overtime in the AFC game. And then the Rams scored late. They put together a couple of great drives to get up the field and get the game-winning field goal there with about a minute 45 left. You don't see a ton of emotion out of Cooper Kupp, which is a big reason I like the guy. I love him. I think he's the best receiver. He's incredible. What the moves he does at the line of scrimmage, it's unreal. I mean, he's got his little wiggle before he like starts his route almost, and he creates separation. I don't know how he gets so open all the time. It's amazing. But 2 touchdowns in the game, 140 something yards, 11 catches. I think Odell had 9 catches for 100 plus yards. But the 2 touchdowns from Kupp, the first one in the back corner, Stafford, man, what a dime that was. Another one late. Cooper just catches the ball, flips it to the ref. You never see him really fist bump or anything. But when he caught that first down slant and got 20 plus yards or whatever to get the Rams really into good field goal range, I think with right around 2 minutes left, you really saw the emotion of Cooper Kupp just kind of look to the heavens and let out a cry of just raw emotion. And it's cool to me when you see guys who don't really put out a lot of emotion, aren't kind of those look at me type of athletes. When you see those guys kind of let it out, it's like, whoa. It's like when people don't really talk, but when they do talk, you listen type of thing. Like Aaron Donald kind of had that moment. And that for me was when I kind of went through the roof. Now it's funny in playoffs, and I get terrified during kicking plays, field goals, punts, whether you're kicking or receiving. I just feel like, oh, something's going to go wrong here. And I knew it was a chip shot for Matt Gay, but still it was scary. It was scary fun. It was a great moment. Rams go down, kick a field goal. I got to hand it to the Rams on special teams too. The Niners made a couple really good plays on special teams, downing punts and things, but the Rams on a couple kickoffs with some big hits, some big field position, game-changing tackles, if you will. Just really proud of that group. What a team win for those guys. Guys making plays that you hadn't heard of all season. And that's why it takes an entire team. It takes a 53-man roster plus your practice squad guys and everybody, a lot of moving parts for a good football team. And the 49ers will be back. I am curious what they do with Jimmy G. Of course, Trey Lance is there waiting in the wings. Can he be an elite quarterback or not? I don't know. But 49er fans seem fed up with Jimmy G and are just done with him. And I'm like, okay, be careful what you wish for, because I know he's had his downward spirals, but he's also had some elite moments. And I'm curious if he leaves and where he ends up. And then, of course, the transition to Trey Lance. That should be something to watch next year moving forward. So it's going to be a fun NFL offseason with all these moves probably upcoming. What else was I going to say in regards to the 49ers? Oh, Tom Brady probably retiring. News media. Can we do this? I don't care what your sources are, whatever. Can we? And then we have this rush now to be first. Well, breaking news, and he has a responsibility to break this news. Do they get like special prizes or points when they like break something first? The Adam Schefters of the world, the Ian Rappaports. And then it can't be confirmed. It's like, well, is he really retiring? Is he not? Why don't we wait for the guy that is actually retiring? Wait for him to say he's retiring. News media drives me crazy. Fake news is a real thing. You don't have to be a Trump guy to look around and embrace and know that there's a lot of propaganda and fake reporting out there. And it happens a lot in the sports media. So Tom Brady's retiring. Then his dad's like, wait a minute, what? And then some other. So I don't know. If they said he's retiring, he probably is. But let's wait for something to be true. Let's I don't know, a little dignity, a little respect. Let him make the announcement. If Tom Brady does retire, 22-year career, went to 10 Super Bowls, half the years he played and started, he went to the Super Bowl. That's phenomenal to do it. in another team the next year with the Buccaneers after leaving New England. He's the he's the biggest Boston sports icon ever, I think, even though Bill Russell has 11 world championships as a basketball player, and of course the Red Sox. But I thought when Tom Brady signed a 2-year deal to go to the Buccaneers, it was like 2 years. Okay, so what are they going to do? Sign him to a third? Because all signs pointed to him playing till 45. And I don't know. He does seem done body language wise. Kind of, I follow his, it's called Let's Go with Tom Brady, Jim Gray, every Monday. That's a pretty good podcast, even though I can't stand Jim Gray. He's got just a elitist, like, talk down to your voice. I know more than anybody. Just, drives me crazy. So I'm going to make a list one day of my most hated guys in sports media. I know it's easy to put together lists and things when there's a slow day at the office, if you will. So congrats to Tom Brady, best who's ever done it, and a true professional, and a guy that will always be talked about forever in the record books and among other things. Just the greatest that's ever done it, the greatest team sports athlete of all time, in my opinion, because of the position, the quarterback position, the hardest job in sports, having to be a leader, having to be a good guy, having to know everyone around you, know that it takes other people than just you. And to go to 10 Super Bowls and win 7 of them is phenomenal, just phenomenal. So congrats to Tom, if it is a career. And if it's not, if he does sometime this week, maybe tonight on the Monday podcast, he says, hey, I don't know where someone got that information, I'm coming back next year. I would love that, because it would be such a screw you to the media in this overreaction age we now live in. So, yeah, congrats to Brady if he's done retiring, or if he is retiring. So now we start the longest 2 weeks of the year. In August, it's tough because you're waiting for football to start. Baseball's like dog days of summer. So late July and August is a tough stretch of time. Right now is the longest 2 weeks of our lives as we wait for this Super Bowl to get played here in Los Angeles. I've been doing a lot of Uber driving, and I end up in downtown and other parts of LA, and there's Super Bowl stuff everywhere. Super Bowl 56 here. And so I'm looking forward to getting some gear. Doesn't even have to have Rams stuff on it. Just Super Bowl 56 in LA is pretty cool. Traffic's going to get going here real quick with all of that. And it's wild, man. The Super Bowl in LA, the very first Super Bowl played here in Los Angeles in the Coliseum. There's been a few played at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and here the first Super Bowl in the new stadium. So in signing off today, final thoughts is kind of a recap. Count all world championships, not just Super Bowls. The Rams take down the Niners in the NFC Championship game. Us Hersham men, we still can't believe it. It's a surreal feeling. And I'm recording this Monday, the day after, so that you guys can get this first thing Tuesday morning. So still kind of like, I wasn't very smooth today. I'm well aware, but just so much emotion still. And again, I don't have anything to do with this. It's just a team I root for. But it's fun when team you root for, when they do well and take down your rivals and shut up all the critics. And it's fun. It's fun because the dark days are quite sad. So Rams win in spectacular fashion. Super Bowl in 2 weeks here in Los Angeles. Rams hopefully will get to wear their home jerseys on their home field. That would be cool. Governor Newsome, you are a coward, a dictator, and a hypocrite. LA will, the Super Bowl will be on NBC, called by Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. Al Michaels is an iconic LA-based broadcaster, so that's cool for him to be in SoFi with the LA Rams playing. And then Chris Collinsworth, the former Bengal wide receiver, who I think played in a couple Super Bowls with those Bengals when they lost to the 49ers a couple times. So there's that. There's all kinds of fun elements here. Joe Burrow, the LSU Tiger, Andrew Whitworth, 40-year-old lineman, LSU Tiger, Odell Beckham. I mean, there's so many things here. This may take a few episodes to kind of soak it all up and to enjoy all of this. But for now, the Rams are NFC champions. One of 2 remaining teams. Super Bowl 56 is here, and we're excited about it and ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing going. We'll talk LA Rams football here for a couple weeks, as well as other things. Again, if you have ideas or about topics or anything, always send them my way. You know where to reach me. Get Home Safe Podcast at yahoo.com. That helps me with content, as generally I just write things down throughout the week, but I want to be fan friendly here. Even those 49er fans who, again, want to carry around their resume and hand them out all the time about what they have done. Well, I don't care what you have done. It's about what have you done for me lately? What are you doing now? What are you doing in the future? Or do you guys just always walk around with your resumes? Like, not just 49er fans, but other people. Hey, look what I've done in my life. No one cares. It's good. It's good that you've done those things, but okay, that's before. Maybe if I have a Jeopardy question, I'll ask you. Anyway, guys, enough out of me. Thank you for tuning in to the official podcast of Rams football. No, the Rams podcast here on Get Home Safe on Tuesday. I'll be back Friday, whether it's just me again or a guest. I'm not sure. Going to work on that, but man, 2 weeks till Super Bowl 56. It's time to not quite yet, but time to shop and get some goodies ready. We're going to have a big thing somewhere. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to try to enjoy this one. And hopefully the LA Rams are victorious and win their 4th world championship and their first Super Bowl as the LA Rams. So can't wait for it. It's been a long time coming. Let's fast forward these next 2 weeks, man, and get to Super Bowl 56 in LA. Guys, have a great week. I'll see you Friday, one way or another. And guys, as always, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or rounding third base, get home safe.